lot of development in recent years, aside from the continuous glucose monitors from the mechanical engineering side to the polymers used in creating sensors, where that falls under the actual schedule. That actually falls on a stream day. Cool. You know, I don't think either of us have ever been to Buffalo. Yeah, how time flies, no kidding. If I remember correctly, wasn't super pleased by that. Especially because the entry-level engineering job market right now is real bad. It's not good at all. Can't quite tell if I've avoided all the shorts. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, not having to think about it is real nice. You know, I thought you were aware. Let's do this. Keep going. Boops. The boops. It's meant to be for SQL dev. Welcome in. Yeah. Like, why is he asking? I don't know. Yeah. No, that's why. Emotes. And by new, I mean old new, because, you know, they were emotes, and then I got rid of them because I prioritized other ones, and now they're emotes again. And I say just yet because pretty much my entire family's diabetic, so, you know, it's coming for me, but so far so good. I get tested every now and then. Haven't gotten tested for a while, but I get tested for it every now and then. So far so good. If you have the ability to, I would love to read that. I love reading the academic papers of the nerdy smart people in our community. Go looking for it. I haven't actually worked on, but I've given a lot of feedback and been part of studies with insulin pumps and continuous glucose monitors for the past 25 years. Nelson, without doxing yourself, you're just on the other side of the border from us, not terribly far, right? Yeah, Google's bought up and canned, but you have no paycheck. You generally will maintain some kind of benefits. You're eligible for unemployment insurance. I don't think I've been US side in Ontario yet. No, yes I have. Just this summer we did. I like the positivity that you just threw in there as well, of just like, yeah, don't work for us, but like, we're not going to pay you. And on one side, there are benefits to it, right? So if you actually, you know, want to wait it out, there are benefits because your employment is continuous. So with respect, apparently I've been really I've got 10 slots in animated and 5 in standard. I need to do some work, apparently. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess we're coming up on my 3-year stream anniversary here, aren't we? That's coming up real fast. I think it's next week sometime, if I remember right. Might even be this week. Not sure. I think Twitch tells me if I Yeah, basically it's them telling you, go sit on the couch, collect unemployment, we might call you. If we call you back within 35 weeks, no harm, no foul, we don't owe you anything. If we can't bring you back within 35 weeks... Yeah, no, Nelson, I got laid off from my old job. That stuff is so cool. Yeah, continuous glucose is super fantastic, rather than, you know, turning your fingers to hamburger. Do with that information what you will. Slots in tier 1. Here is... trying to find when my stream Buffalo, Syracuse area is better than New York. And how's it going? Great to see you. Thanks for the follow. But hey. There's some really wild stuff going on in like bioinks and other stuff like that. There's some really if you find yourself your own job and you don't come back when we call you, that's voluntarily. Oh, we're coming up on 500 hours streamed as well. So right now, I'm just cleaning up the pins and taking a look at whether or not there are any shorts on our data pins here. Pin or an actual scientist on the project doesn't make any difference to me. Would love to see back to any seniority, any like vacation day accruals, anything of that nature. That all still continues to count up, you know. Don't let those numbers define you, but then we process normal layoffs with severance pay and all that kind of stuff. Oh, a 25-bit, a regular tier 1 and an animated. Jeez. Huh. We want to lay you off. We want to have the opportunity to call you back, and we don't want to pay severance. So it's them basically saying, you still... Streamiversary is. Normally it actually, like, gives you a whole thing about, like, hey, it's coming up. Maybe you should, like, you know, do a thing. I had 6 emote slots available. What? Alright, let's see. Let's plug that in and see if the computer hates it. It does. Yay! Wild, wild, wild pieces of that nature. So laid off like 1,000 engineers. So, you know, felt really good about my chances of getting a job. What even is a temp layoff? Basically, it's them going... Oh, all right. Well, let's click some old emotes that I had to disable because I didn't have open emotes. Really do need to get myself a proper magnifier, though. first paycheck got deposited though, so I might actually spring for one. Which, you know, not great. Not gonna pretend it was. Yeah, if you refresh your page, you should have like 10 new 2 weeks out from selling our house. We were actually like packing boxes. We had a stager come in. We were getting ready to. A lot of engineers out there can't find work right now. And the same week that I got laid off, one of the big tech firms in Toronto also. List the house. And then I came home. I went to work one day, and the middle afternoon. They came down from on high and said, hey, the economy sucks right now. A lot of movie productions aren't going on. So we're laying off a third of this branch. And I was one of the names on the list. So went from a lot of okay. So Carolyn is actually going to be going across the border for some Black Friday shopping with their mom at the end of the month. And I believe they're currently planning on going down to Buffalo. So, you know, I didn't realize that we had office and said, hey, temporary layoff. We might call you back within 35 weeks. You get your benefits, but that's all you get. Go away.